What if someone vanished from the face of the earth, minutes before help arrived? It was a cold February evening in 2004 when Maura Murray, a bright 21-year-old nursing student from the University of Massachusetts Amherst, packed up her car and disappeared into the night. She didn't tell her friends where she was going. She told her professors she had a family emergency. But there was no emergency. There were no signs of distress. Just silence. That same night, about 140 miles north in the rural town of Woodsville, New Hampshire, a local resident called 911 to report a single-car crash on a sharp bend of Route 112. The Saturn sedan had hit a snowbank. Inside was a young woman who politely declined help from a passing bus driver, saying she'd already called for roadside assistance. The man drove away. Less than 10 minutes later, a police officer arrived on scene. The car was still there. The woman was gone. No footprints led away from the crash. No tire marks. No blood. No signs of a struggle. Just a bottle of open alcohol in the vehicle, some scattered belongings, and a haunting emptiness. Maura Murray had vanished, and for the next 2 decades, America would ask the same question: what happened on that road? To understand how strange Maura's disappearance really was, you have to look at the days leading up to it. Maura was a high achiever, an honors student, a former West Point cadet, and a track star. But something shifted in early February. She had a breakdown at work at the campus security desk, crying uncontrollably for hours. The incident was never fully explained. Then, there was a series of strange moves. She emailed her professors claiming there was a death in the family, a lie. She withdrew cash from her bank account, about $280, and purchased alcohol, including wine and Baileys. She packed up her dorm room, removed photos from the walls, and left a printed email to her boyfriend about their relationship issues. At around 7:30 p.m. on February 9, she crashed her car in Haverhill, New Hampshire. The road was slick and curved, a place locals knew well for accidents. Faith Westman, a neighbor, called 911 at 7:27 p.m. She said a young woman had crashed but appeared unharmed. A local bus driver named Butch Atwood stopped to help and spoke to the driver, Maura, who refused his help. She told him not to call the police. He did anyway, and when Sergeant Cecil Smith arrived at 7:46 p.m., just 19 minutes after the crash, Maura was gone. Gone without a sound, without a trace. For days, police searched the snowy woods surrounding Route 112. Dogs picked up a faint scent that stopped abruptly in the middle of the road, leading many to believe Maura got into another car. But whose, and why? There was no evidence of foul play, yet no sign that she left willingly. Her family arrived quickly and began their own search. Her father, Fred Murray, became a relentless advocate for the truth, sparring with law enforcement and refusing to let the story go cold. Rumors exploded. Some said Maura ran away to start a new life. Others believed she was abducted by a stranger, or someone she knew. Online forums lit up with theories, maps, time logs, and speculation. People combed the area themselves, searching for a trace. Then there were the strange twists. A rag was found stuffed into Maura's tailpipe. Did she try to stage the accident? Was someone trying to sabotage the car? Police never determined why it was there. Years passed, and the story grew into legend. Maura Murray became a ghost story for the digital age. She was the missing girl in the snowy woods, the one who vanished between headlights. Documentaries were made. Podcasts analyzed every frame of evidence. But there were no answers. Just more theories. More silence. 2 decades have passed, and still, no one knows what happened to Maura Murray. Her family never gave up. Her father once said, "There's something bigger here, something we're not seeing." And he might be right. Because the more you look at this case, the more it bends reality. How does someone just vanish in under 20 minutes, on a dark road, in the snow, with no place to go? Some believe Maura is still alive, living under a new name. Others are convinced she met someone who meant her harm. And then there are those who think the answer lies somewhere in between, that Maura was running from something, and it caught up to her that night. The only thing we know for sure is this: her car was left running, the lights on, the door slightly ajar. A single girl stood alone on the side of Route 112. And in the blink of an eye, she was gone. No footprints, no phone calls, no farewell, just a car in the snow, and a mystery that refuses to melt away.